You keep repeating the same patterns, even after you promise yourself, this time I'll change, and it's starting to feel personal. What if the real problem isn't your discipline, but an invisible mental prison you don't even notice? In this video, I'll share 6 psychology-backed keys that expose the prison bars and help you take control of your thoughts, emotions, and actions. Starting today, research shows your brain isn't designed to make you confident. It's designed to keep you safe. And safety can look like procrastination, overthinking, and playing small. The problem is, most people try to push harder inside the same mental cage, so they burn out and blame themselves. By the end of this video, you'll be able to spot the prison bars in real time, stop getting dragged by old loops, and use a few simple tools to rebuild control without needing a personality transplant. Let's dive in. First key. You're not trapped because you're weak. You're trapped because your brain overweights danger. If your brain had a job title, it wouldn't be dream builder. It would be risk manager, and it's dramatic on purpose. Your mind naturally gives more weight to problems than progress. One awkward moment can outweigh 10 wins. One mistake can replay for days. One weird look from someone can feel like a sign you should never try again. And because your brain thinks it's protecting you, it whispers, stay small, stay safe, don't try. Not because it hates you, but because it thinks discomfort equals danger. Source. Here's the trap. Your brain treats emotional discomfort like physical danger, so you avoid the thing that could upgrade your life. And then you call it being realistic. So here's what you do, starting today. When you catch yourself spiraling, say this out loud. Threat filter. Or even better, my brain is scanning for danger. That single sentence creates distance. You're not the thought. You're the observer of the thought. Then build a file your brain doesn't build on its own. A progress file. Once a day, write one sentence. Proof I'm improving is one sentence. Not a journal, not a novel. Just one piece of evidence. Your brain collects threats automatically. You're collecting growth on purpose. Next, shrink the meaning. Replace "this is bad" with "this is data." Because most setbacks aren't disasters. They're feedback, they're information, they're the cost of upgrading. And here's a quick reset you can do in 30 seconds. Ask, what's one thing that's working right now? Your brain hates that question because it forces it to zoom out. It forces balance. Now pause for a second, because this is a pattern interrupt you need to hear clearly. Your brain is a safety device, not a truth machine. Just because a thought is loud doesn't mean it's true. Now, if you can do that, you'll notice the next prison bar right away. It's sneakier because it doesn't feel like fear. It feels like logic. Have you ever noticed how your brain can build a whole court case against you, using only evidence it likes? This is confirmation bias. It's the way your mind cherry-picks proof. If you believe, I'm not confident, your brain spotlights every shaky moment and edits out the times you were brave. If you believe I always mess up, it will replay your mistakes on repeat and skip over your recoveries. So you don't experience reality. You experience your brain's highlight reel. Source. Let me ask you a real question. If your mind only shows you the clips that support your worst belief, how would you ever feel ready? Here's how you break the cherry pick loop. Write the belief as a clean sentence, not I feel. Write I am. Like I am not disciplined. I am behind. I am not good enough. Because identity beliefs are the ones that lock you in. Then force the other side. Ask, what would I notice today if the opposite were true? If you believed you were capable, what would count as evidence? What would you see? What would you stop ignoring? Now use a rule that sounds simple, but it hits hard. The 2-proof rule. You must list 2 real examples that contradict the belief, no matter how small. 2 times you followed through. 2 times you handled something hard. 2 times you showed up even when you didn't feel like it. And your brain will try to argue. It'll say, those don't count. Don't negotiate, just list. Then, for the next 24 hours, treat the belief like a hypothesis. not an identity. You're gathering data, not reading a verdict. Now, quick curiosity check. Even if you fix your thinking, you're still going to feel emotions when you step into something bigger. And this is where most people lose control, because they believe the next lie. When you feel anxiety, your brain loves to call it a prediction, but it's usually just a signal. You feel fear, and your brain says, that means something bad will happen. You feel shame, and your brain says, that means you're not enough. You feel tension, and your brain says, that means stop. That's the lie. Emotion is information, not a prophecy. So here's the tool that takes less than 10 seconds once you get good at it. Label the emotion, not analyze it, not explain it. Label it. I'm anxious, I'm disappointed, I'm embarrassed, I'm overwhelmed. Because when you name the feeling, you stop being trapped inside it. You move from reaction mode to regulation mode. Research on affect labeling shows that putting feelings into words can reduce emotional reactivity in the amygdala and increase control-related activity. In simple terms, naming it turns down the alarm. Source: here's the 4-step reset. First, name it in a short sentence. I feel anxious. Second, locate it. It's in my chest. It's in my throat. It's in my stomach. That pulls you out of the story and into the body. Third, add a normal reason. Because this matters to me. That turns panic into meaning. It reminds you, I'm not in danger. I'm in growth. Fourth, choose the next tiny move, not the whole plan. 1 email, 1 paragraph, 1 minute, anything forward. And here's the spiral stopper sentence. Say it out loud the moment you start catastrophizing. This is a feeling, not a forecast. Feelings are loud. That doesn't make them accurate. Now you're calm enough to act, but your brain will try another trick. It'll say you need motivation first. You don't. If your goals depend on feeling like it, your brain will always find a reason to delay. That's why you can want something deeply and still not do it. So instead of relying on motivation, you preload a decision. Here's how. Tie your action to a cue. You pick a situation that already happens, something reliable, and you attach a tiny action to it. This is called an if-then plan, or an implementation intention. If X happens, then I do Y. And research shows these simple plans can seriously improve follow-through because you stop negotiating in the moment. Source, for example, when I finish my coffee, I will write 5 lines. When I sit on my couch, I will do 2 minutes of stretching. When I open my laptop, I will work for 10 minutes before I check anything else. This removes negotiation, because if your brain gets to negotiate in real time, it will always bring a reasonable excuse. Now you might be thinking, but what if I miss a day? Good, plan for that too. Here's how you set your cue and action plan. Choose one goal you've been stalling on. Just one. Don't turn this into a self-improvement shopping cart. Choose a cue that already exists in your day. After brushing teeth, after lunch, at a specific time. When you walk into a room, make the action tiny. 2 minutes, 5 reps, 1 paragraph. A small action is not embarrassing. It's unstoppable. Then add a rescue rule. If you miss today, tomorrow, you do the tiny version. No guilt, no drama. Because your brain loves turning one miss into I failed, and then it uses shame as a reason to quit. Pattern interrupt. You don't need a perfect streak. You need a fast recovery. Now, even with a plan, you'll hit a deeper layer. It's the identity layer. It's the moment your brain says, that's not who we are. And the most dangerous sentence you can say is, I'm just not that kind of person. Because once you label yourself, your brain starts protecting the label. It will sabotage you to stay consistent. It will keep you small to keep you familiar. So you need to change your language from labels to training. Instead of, I'm not disciplined, you say, I'm training discipline. Instead of, I'm bad at this, you say, I'm practicing. Instead of, I can't, you say, not yet. You say, not yet matters. It keeps the door open. It stops the sentence from becoming a life sentence. Try this simple identity reframe. Catch the label. The moment you say I am, followed by something limiting, pause, swap it to training language. I'm practicing showing up. I'm learning how to focus. I'm getting better at handling discomfort. Then prove it with 1 rep today. 1 attempt. 1 uncomfortable A. Sick huge. Not because it's huge, but because it's evidence. Your identity isn't what you say, it's what you repeatedly do. Now we're at the core truth. Your brain lies with thoughts, but it controls you with patterns. Most of your day isn't decisions, it's default settings. And defaults don't care about your dreams. Your habits run like loops. There's a cue, then a routine, then a reward. That's why you can end up scrolling without noticing. Your brain sees the cue. Maybe boredom, maybe stress, maybe a notification. Then it runs the routine, then it collects the reward, and it calls the whole thing normal. So the goal isn't to try harder. The goal is to redesign the loop. Here's the reset. First, find the cue. When do you slip? What time is it? Where are you? What are you feeling? What's in your hand? Be specific. Vague awareness doesn't change behavior. Second, keep the reward but swap the routine. If the reward is relief, don't fight relief. Redact it. If stress is the cue and relief is the reward, your new routine can be a 2-minute walk, 10 deep breaths, or 1 page of journaling. Same reward, better routine. Third, make the good habit easier than the bad one. And third, make the good habit easier than the bad one. Put the book on the pillow. Put the workout clothes by the door. Put the healthy food in front. Move the distracting app off your home screen. Don't rely on willpower when you can use design. And there's real science behind why this matters. Habits become automated in brain systems that make repeated behaviors easier to run without conscious effort. So design beats willpower long term. Source fourth, add small novelty a couple times a week. A new playlist, a new location, a slightly harder version. Not to overwhelm you, just to wake your brain up and keep learning alive. Your mind pays attention to new. Use that. Now I want you to do a quick future test with me. Picture your future self in 30 days if you change 1 loop. Just 1. How do you wake up? How do you carry yourself? What do you trust about yourself? Now picture 30 days if you don't. Same loops, same excuses, same quiet frustration. Which pain do you want? Because here's the truth. You can avoid discomfort now, or you can avoid regret later. You don't get to avoid both. So let's lock this in. Your threat filter magnifies the negative, so you start playing small. Your brain can learn powerlessness, so you stop trying. Source. Your mind cherry-picks proof, so the same story keeps repeating. Source. Your thoughts can loop, so mental noise runs all day. Source. And your habits can run on autopilot, so you redesign the loop and make growth easier than the old pattern. Sourceware. Remember, you're not weak, you're conditioned, and conditioning can be changed. The only difference between the version of you that feels trapped and the version of you that feels free is repeated tiny actions that prove I'm in control. Don't wait until another month disappears and you're still making the same promise. Start with the smallest key today. Label 1 emotion and do 1 2-minute action. 1 week from now, you'll thank yourself. If you found this helpful, hit like, subscribe for more self-improvement stick figure breakdowns, and comment, what's the biggest mental prison bar you want to break first? And if you want the next step, watch the next video on building habits that actually stick. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.